It places the spotlight on the artist's struggle to find his way as a young artist and financially support himself through his passion. That's of Absa L'Atelier award winner Banele Khoza's latest exhibition titled A Letter to My 22-Year-Old Self, which opens at the Absa Gallery today and runs until the 25th of January 2019. The exhibition features the works of 34 artists who want to help him raise awareness of the difficulties that South Africa's emerging artists encounter. Well, Khoza joins me now in studio to tell us more about A Letter to My 22-Year-Old Self. Baba, very good morning to you and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Give us a background onto why this was conceptualized in the first place.
So it actually came through 2 years ago when I was 22, and I realized that I just got into this industry and I literally went full in, and I actually didn't have the best advice, or I didn't know who to reach out to.
Okay.
And I think also contextually, when I was 17, I actually struggled quite a lot, where I had times where I didn't have food and also money to go to school. And just knowing that knowledge, or going through that, I knew that there'd be other people who'd be going through the same thing. So A Letter to My 22-Year-Old Self is basically advice to my younger self. And also, I think the best advice you can get from people is the one that they're giving themselves instead of general advice.
Yeah, I'm still curious to know why write that letter to your 22-year-old self, and do you want to share with us the contents of that letter?
Yes. So my name is Banele, first of all, and if I say it in English, it says I'm enough.
Okay.
And I think what I've been struggling with in like the past years is the feeling of not feeling enough or worthy. And I think being in a space where the focus is on your work and yourself, you have all those insecurities, and you're dealing with people who are in their 40s and are established, and you're not aware that everyone actually has insecurities. So for me, the letter that I wrote to myself, it was addressing that first of all, I'm enough, and I'm worthy of this journey. And to even be sitting here, I think it's important.
And I suppose you really did address those insecurities when you invited the other artists to form part of this exhibition, which makes me curious why you decided to make it a group exhibition.
First of all, I think as creatives, we're afraid to seek for help, and it was the case on my side. I've led up to now where I would never ask for help. And with the people that I invited, the artists that I invited, it was actually an ask for help, like an aid. And for me, it tackled my insecurities with that as well. And just to reach out for help, like actually people say yes. And that for me was important. And I think starting this conversation, it's saying to other artists, they can reach out for help, and we can try to get them to the next spot.
So what lessons have you learned when you started embarking on this journey till today?
First of all, it's okay to say I need help. And I think also to raise that if you're struggling with something or you need something, you just have to ask, and someone who will probably definitely help.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about your vision to help other artists to grow as artists in their own right.
I think for me, what we want to tackle, especially with this exhibition, is I know in varsity, if you don't have money for registration, first of all, it means you don't have education for the rest of the year. So with this exhibition, all the funds that we'll raise will basically be helping with that. And also, I know how it's like to be in class without food, and that basically impairs your concentration. And we want to help with minor needs like that, to help people if they don't have money for food while on campus or at home, we can help with that, or even money to get to school. Because if you don't have taxi fare in the morning, it means you don't get the lesson for the day. So it's all those tiny things that I really want to address. And if we don't do it as creatives that are already trying to establish a career, then no one might help that. Because if you apply for funding, sometimes it only tackles the education aspect, but not the minor needs.
And Banele, for those who may not be able to attend or view this body of work, paint us a picture of the makeup of this body of work. What does it consist of, and what is it that you want those who see it take away from it?
I think for me, it'll be the generosity of the artists. I mean, 34 artists who've willingly given works that some of them are at the value of about 50,000. Actually, the biggest donation we had was from Nelson Magamo, and he gave us a body of work that's worth 600K. And for someone to just give you that in aid for other creatives, I think it just shows the spirit and the soul of an artist. Yes, and just how generous we are.
And it's a closed invitation. Why though?
Because of the space restraints. I think we already have 350 people that have confirmed for attendance, but then from tomorrow onwards, people can come in.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you for having me.
All right. That was Absa L'Atelier award winner Banele Khoza speaking to us about his latest exhibition titled A Letter to My 22-Year-Old Self, which opens at the Absa Gallery today in Johannesburg and runs until the 25th of January 2019. Well, this is Morning Live, and we asked you earlier on to give us your predictions about that clash between Banyana Banyana and Ghana later on this afternoon.